Hey everyone, it is the 13th of April and I thought it was a good time to check back in with Nejat and Zan in Go Fly. Last week I didn't continue there anymore because I had a few other things to do, but I'm checking back in with them since they've been leaving me some notes, so yeah, I'll need to figure out what's going on and what they have planned. So what are you doing this Monday? Here it is well into the afternoon here in the Netherlands. And where are you in the world? What time zone? And what are you doing? Today I want to do one creative session of 60 minutes, and if everything goes all right, I can publish the Flutter video later this week. That's the bit of news I have today, because as it turned out, my email didn't get into Andy's email box. So something went wrong there. So luckily I thought to contact him through another way and ask him if he had gotten the email. Well, it landed in a different box, so he now has it, and he is going to check out the video I made and going to give me feedback. And once I have adjusted the video to his feedback, then I can publish it hopefully this week. So that would be a lot of fun. And in the meantime, I do need to check on the flutter nymphs in Tergaenae, specifically in Go Fly right now. So I'm going to do that. Now let me quickly also check in with Discord, because I think there might have been a few things going on. No, that's all right. Let me check in with Twitch, because I know that didn't go well last time. Yes, we are live on Twitch also. Good. And we have sound, so that's a good thing as well. And I am very happy with that, because I mean, my streaming software has given me some problems lately. But that's all solved right now. And the fun thing is, the streaming software is also the software I use for recording specific things. And I had to check that because OBS was throwing a fit with some recordings of mine, and that was not handy. But all that is also fixed, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed that OBS doesn't come with updates that break everything again. That would be, let's just say, not handy. We'll see how that goes. So right now, I have 2 questions for you. And you can see them in the ticker line down below. The first one is, what is food production like in your world? I mean, if you are, for example, writing a sci-fi series, maybe you have fabricators, 3D printers, like we actually have right now here on Earth. We have 3D printers that can print food. I've never tasted it so far. I haven't seen anyone using it. I have no idea what it would taste like. I mean, veggies and meat and rice and potatoes, those all and fruit, and well, basically everything. It has those foods have such distinct tastes. How are you gonna do that with a 3D printer? How are you gonna replicate that? That's something I've always been wondering about. Also, when I saw it in Star Trek and other series that had these replicators through which you could get your food. I mean, yeah, I don't know. So if any of you in the chat or in the comments have any idea how that works and how you still have these distinct tastes and, I mean, textures, is that, I don't know. Is it like mashed potatoes or something. I mean, that's all I can imagine when it comes out of a printer. I mean, it needs to be small enough that it can fit through that needle, right? So how do you have any kind of texture in there? I mean, I can't imagine that, but who knows? So that is a side stab from food production. I mean, that's how it gets on your plate. But how is it grown? Do you have livestock, for example, that will, how shall I say that, from which you get your meat? Or do you have other things? Just think of anything and share it with us. Hi, the Tergaenae, Kinder, welcome so much. Welcome coming in. It's so nice to see you, and it's nice to be back at streaming, and I hope to catch you on your live streams again as well. It's been a while since I was in one of your live streams, catching up on the chat. And JK, thank you for coming in as well. It's great to see you too. So yeah, that's food production. Do you have livestock? Do you does your world have, I don't know, factories where food is produced, greenhouses, things like that? Or if you go back several centuries ago, for example, or much longer, do people grow their own veggies in their backyard? Do they make their own noodles and spaghetti and things like that? I mean, nowadays we practically get everything out of a factory, right? But there are also still people who make these things themselves. So yeah, that's interesting, and I think it's fun to think about how you do that in your world. And of course, that leads to the following question as well. Do your characters, your MCs, do they grow their own food? Do they make their own pastas and noodles, etc., etc.? Do they perhaps dehydrate their food to be able to take it on long trips? So, share with us how your characters are doing that. And Kendar, you say, in one of your science fiction worlds, space food was reduced to nutrient bars. Yeah, I mean, that's something I can imagine indeed for the future, and that would be just so, how shall I say that? It would be a shame if that were to happen indeed, because people wouldn't get the texture, the pleasure. I personally believe that people wouldn't get the pleasure of really tasting food that we have. And so yeah, but is that because that's just brainstorming here? Is that because they live on a spaceship and things don't grow there or are done differently? Or is that also just living on a planet where you would have basically everything, or maybe not? Yeah, I'd love to hear that. And Jackie, you say your pastry chef MCs bake their own desserts. Excellent. Oh, right, that's right. You were writing about that. But they usually buy the ingredients from grocery stores, specialty stores, etc. I can imagine that. Yeah. I mean, I've made my own bread, but I would get the flour and such from specialty stores where they have that, and that it's fun to do. And can I just say they'd get that when they went to a planet? Okay, so off Earth to a different planet, and then they get the nutrients bars. Okay, it's a convenience thing. You can pack more nutrition on a ship when they are reduced to the strict minimum. I can imagine that, yes. And it's I mean, it takes a while to get there to a planet, and of course you are limited by the amount of space, by the amount of storage space that you have. So yeah, I can see that happening, yeah. And when they arrive on a planet, would they have normal food there, or would it also be different? And how would food production work on that other planet where they go to? In Tergaenae, my own world, I have loads of food production, and because Tergaenae has a more medievalish setting, a pre-industrial setting. You will find livestock, you will find orchards, veggies, but also people growing their own veggies, just anything. Also, in Dragon City, for example, in Dragon City itself, there are some areas for the farmers, but outside there are large rice paddies and orchards and things like that. So they get their food also from outside the city, outside the cave where Dragon City is in. And that's how people also partially get their food. And they live, the cave opens up to an ocean, so they also have lots of seafood, so that's fun. And in Silk and Bamboo, the Silk and Bamboo Empire, for example, that is an archipelago empire, an island empire, and they thrive on seafood, but also on other things, because the people who started there fled from another country due to natural disasters, and they were able to take some things with them to grow at the archipelago they ended up in. So that's a good thing as well. Can I just say, on a planet, food would be normal so long as the planet allows for plants to be grown and animals to be raised. I can imagine that, yes. And would there be... would it be the same as here on Earth, or would it potentially really have completely different animals and food, like in Avatar? Not Avatar the Airbender, but the James Cameron Avatar movie. Is that James Cameron? No. No. Anyways, Avatar with the blue Navi people. And they had really different animals and food, and that was very fun to see. And can you say that will depend on the planet? Got it. Okay, I totally understand. That's good to hear. And it's fun to have those differences between Earth and other planets. I mean, other planets evolve differently than we do, if only because they may have had different, so to speak, building blocks than we had in our past. Different influences. Who knows? Maybe we will find planets that still have the megafauna simply because they didn't die out, like they didn't go extinct like here on Earth. That would be quite a difference compared to here. And megafauna, megaflora. Can you imagine mushrooms that are as big as a house or as big as a tree? The original mushrooms here on Earth, when Earth was vastly different, those mushrooms, they were more like a pillar, and they were as big as trees right now are. And that is so different, but also very intriguing. Kendar, you say the story's world spans the universe, so there is a lot of variety. Excellent, excellent. And JK, how are things going with your bakery, with your pastry chef? When you say they bake their own desserts and they get their ingredients from grocery stores and specialty stores, what happens when they run out of certain ingredients or there are rare ingredients that are hard to come by? Do they use that as well? And how do they get those ingredients if they can't get them from their usual places? That's, I mean, if I look at just here on Earth, for example, cherries, that's one of my favorite foods. They are very hard to come by. I mean, there's a very limited time. I think it's about 6 weeks maybe that they are available. And afterwards, you can't find any cherries anymore unless you buy the preserved cherries from stores in jars. Or if you do like I do, dehydrate your cherries and then you can enjoy it all through the year. Of course, that's a little bit different than having fresh cherries plucked from the tree, but it's a way to get those cherries still in a time that they are not available. So how does your MC deal with let's say seasonal ingredients or more rare ingredients? And is that perhaps also a signature thing that they have specific seasonal pastries because they have specific seasonal ingredients? I'd love to hear about that. So, let's get into our creative session of today. And I just remember that I need to have the stopwatch ready for that. Let's see if it will continue to work. I hope it will, because that's always the biggest question. Yeah, let's hope that goes good. Hey Gilby, welcome in. You swivel into the chat. Fatly as a tech priest who is fat. Perfect, perfect. Nerds, yes, perfect. Yeah, I mean, we're all world building nerds here, I think. Most of us. So Gilby, we were talking about food and what food production is like in your world, and if your characters grow their own food and how they deal with things like seasonal foods, rare food, and more things like that. So yeah, just let us know how it is done in your world and how your characters deal with certain things. Let's get into our first creative session of today. I was checking because it also should technically play a sound, and it didn't do that last time. So I want to check one thing. I hope. Okay. it seems I removed that audio. That was not handy. My apologies for that. So I'll try to keep an eye on the timer to make sure that we actually end. So yeah. And yeah, but you say you've put a pause on your farm settings because it wasn't satisfying for you for now, and you're world building a sci-fi desert world. So it would be a lot of Middle Eastern types of food, both indigenous in terms of natural environment occurrences and agricultural food important to the world long ago. That sounds very good. Excellent. But now you need coffee is because you just woke up. Well, I will see you soon again. Grab your coffee. For everyone, grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's get to it. And of course the timer didn't start. Let's try that again. Yes, there we go. Have fun and see you in 60 minutes. And that is the end of our creative session. How did it go for you guys? I have to say, it went quite well, better than I expected. But first, let me check in with you all. How are you all doing? Kendar, you said you will be looking from your stream prep. I hope your preparations are going splendid, and maybe I can join you later on. Shannon, oh, welcome in. You made friends with the like buttons. Thank you so much. That's awesome. And you just got back from the gym, and that is from a little while ago. And you were getting ready to take the kiddo out to the bus stop and then a shower. I hope everything went well and that your kiddo is on his way to school. So yeah. Shannon, you said also you probably miss a good deal of this, but you've got me up for the watch time. Thank you so much. That is so sweet of you. That really helps me indeed. Devin, good morning. Tish, good morning. It's awesome to see you both joining as well. And Devin, you said you will be looking for hyperfocus. Happy sprinting, everyone. I hope the focus was very good for you. And Tish, you say in answer to the first question, what was the first question? What is food production like in your world? Food production like in your world? You say your setting is in Galveston, Texas, and seafood and gumbo is most popular on the island in real world. Excellent. And for the second question, do your characters grow their own food? You say you have a side character named Earthbloom who grows her own food, vegetable garden, and other illegal herbs. No, what's that about? Mum's the word, we're not talking about that. I do wonder what it's like for her. So I guess we'll have to read your stories to find out. So guys, be sure to check that all out. And let me see if things go as planned. If I do this, let's see. Is this going the way I want it to go? Yes, there we go. Oh, it's okay. And so you're getting that twice as well, I think. There we go. Yup. And I think I also... This should be the one. Oh, or not. Let me quickly check. Oh, yes, that's not the one. My apologies. This is the one. Yes, there we go. There we go. Thank you all for joining me, and go check out Shannon and Tish and Kindar in their live streams and videos. It's always fun to join them as well. Let me check in with the others. So here's Tish's link. Yes, here's. Ooh, I need to adjust a few things. I see. Okay, let me see. Can I do that while I'm live? There we go. That's better. Sometimes when you happen to make changes, it doesn't always show it live, because in this case I didn't have a chat to check when I was working on the layout. So Tish is a cozy mystery writer. Shannon is a fantasy author, like me, and she has published several books already, just like Tish. And Shannon is on the way to publish 10 books this year, so keep an eye out on her channel to get all the latest news about her books that are upcoming. And Kindar is streaming on Twitch for you all to see. And that is also always fun. Gilby, and you say, alright, you've had another coffee and you've returned fatly. Excellent, excellent. How did it go? How was your cup of coffee? Did you have a normal cup of coffee or was it with a special blend? Gilby, you say, thanks for the stream. You're welcome. You're welcome. Tish, thanks for the sprint and you're off to a good start. That's excellent. Happy to hear that. And Gilby, you say, normal cup of coffee, no frills. That's good. That's good. Well, I've had my cups of hot cocoa. I always love that, and I'll drink one more, I think, today, and then it's back to tea and water because that's also very healthy to drink. And I always like that combination of hot cocoa and tea and water. So yeah, that's awesome. Oh, yeah, or my progress, I should say. It's how shall I say that? They have a confrontation. Well, not Nejat. Well, yeah, Nejat and Zan are on the brink of a confrontation right now. That's interesting. We'll see how that goes. And Tergaenae, the companion from, or Nejat's companion, I should say, has also shown himself, and he is so not happy with what another character did to Nejat. So, you know, at this point in the story, Nejat can barely walk because that other character kicked him against his knee, against his weak knee. He knew about that weakness. And he kicked him really, really hard and did a few other things. So Nejat can barely walk. He has just had some medication, so the pain is slowly getting away a bit. But of course that doesn't take away the cause. And, you know, dragons. And being confronted by or with someone who has hurt their companion, their Hamdina. Yeah, you really shouldn't do that. So he really, I don't know, wants to hurt that other character. We'll see how that pans out later on in this story. Tish waves hello to Gilby, and Gilby said, "Oh wait, we're not finishing. I thought we were finishing because of the shoutouts." Well, actually, yes, we are finishing, because I noticed that words are starting to get really hard for me. But the shoutouts is something that I do when people come in stream. I just didn't do it earlier on. I forgot about that. So when Tish and Kindar and Shannon joined, so that's why I did the shoutouts right now. But yeah, this is I've noticed that words are starting to get hard for me. Also while writing. So I guess this weekend has cost me a bit more energy than I thought. I mean, I had a lovely time cat sitting, but I guess it took a little bit more energy than I expected. So, yeah, words are a bit hard right now, but that's all part of the game, as I call it nowadays. So, right, food production. That's something I wanted to tell you guys about as well. No, I already did that in the beginning. But yeah, there are so many ways that food is done in Tergaenae, produced in Tergaenae, and also what they do with the food. For example, fruit and yeah, mostly fruit, but also meat can be dried. And that is also done in Tergaenae. After all, they industrialization is not here. If you have contact with the right mages, you might have something that functions as a freezer or a fridge, because they have certain they can manipulate certain elements to give that function to a cupboard or something. Or you can buy artifacts like that for a very steep price, and then keep your produce fresh for a while. I mean, it's like in our fridges here on Earth. I mean, it just stays fresh for so long, right? And we can put it in our freezer and keep it there for a while, but at some point, I mean, you can't eat it anymore either. But when you dehydrate your food or can your food, then you can keep it for a much longer time. And of course, there are other ways to do that as well, with salt and with sugar. And there are things that you don't need to preserve to keep it. Am I making any sense now? I mean, salt is used to preserve food, so salt is not something that you need to prepare or need to preserve in any way. Well, you need to keep it away from water or any other form of liquid, but as long as it's kept dry, you can keep salt for forever. The same goes for sugar. Honey, I mean, they've discovered honey in, I think, Egyptian tombs, so yeah, you can keep honey forever as well. And that's also what they do in Tergaenae. It's preservation of food, with dehydrating food, canning in special ways. They do that as well. So yeah, there's that, and that helps them in many ways. So I think that's it for today. I'm not gonna do another hour. It's a bit too much for me right now. So thank you everyone for joining me, and the next live stream is Thursday, same time, same place, and maybe before that or Friday. It all depends on when I get Andy's feedback. So maybe even before my next live stream or after or next week, I will publish the Flutter Nymph video. So keep an eye on the channel. Make sure you like and subscribe. And for now, I wish you all a wonderful Monday filled with creativity and magic. And I will see you Thursday. And Tish, thank you so much. Have a good evening. Thank you. And I wish you all the same.